I've been a cab driver for longer than I care to remember. And you wouldn't believe the stories I've heard and the sights I've seen driving through these city streets at night. But there's one ride that stands out. One that still sends shivers down my spine every time I think about it. The night of the Vanishing Passenger. It was a foggy, moonless evening, the kind that sends chills down your spine even before anything unusual happens. I picked up a fare at the edge of town, a young woman dressed in a coat that barely protected her from the biting cold. She seemed nervous, constantly glancing over her shoulder as if someone or something was following her. I thought it was odd, but in this line of work, odd is the norm. She hopped into the back seat, her voice barely audible as she directed me to a desolate part of town, a place I'd only been once or twice in all my years behind the wheel. The streets were eerily quiet as I drove through the fog, the dim streetlights casting long, twisted shadows. My passenger was fidgety, her eyes darting around as if she expected something dreadful to leap out from the darkness at any moment. Then it happened. I swear it was like a scene from a horror movie. We approached an intersection shrouded in an unnatural darkness, the streetlights flickering as if struggling against an unseen force. Suddenly, the cab was engulfed in an otherworldly glow, a blinding light that seemed to seep through the windows and into our very souls. I slammed on the brakes, my heart pounding against my ribcage. And then, silence. The light vanished, leaving us in the pitch-black night. I turned around expecting to see my passenger, but the back seat was empty. My breath caught in my throat as I scanned the desolate street, but there was no sign of her, no trace that she had ever been there. Panic surged through me as I stumbled out of the cab, calling out into the empty darkness. My mind raced with thoughts of what could have happened. Had she been abducted, or was there something more sinister at play? Something beyond the realm of reason? I phoned the police, trying to explain what had transpired, but even as I spoke, I knew they wouldn't believe me. Who would? I couldn't even believe it myself. To them, it was just another missing persons case in a city full of them. I couldn't shake the feeling that something supernatural had occurred that night, something beyond my comprehension. I stopped driving that route, avoided that part of town altogether. But the memory of that vanishing passenger still haunts me, a chilling reminder that there are things in this world we can't explain, lurking just beyond the veil of our understanding. Months passed, but the memory of that fateful night refused to fade. I found myself obsessing over every detail, replaying the events in my mind, searching for any clue that could make sense of what I'd witnessed. I started digging into the history of that part of town, asking around, trying to uncover any stories or legends that might shed light on what had happened. People spoke in hushed tones about strange happenings, whispers of a spectral presence haunting the streets, tales of vanishings that mirrored my own experience. One chilly evening, curiosity got the better of me. I decided to drive back to that forsaken intersection, despite the nagging fear that gripped my gut. As I approached, a sense of foreboding washed over me, the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. The fog seemed thicker, more oppressive than before. The streetlights flickered erratically, casting eerie shadows that danced in the mist. I parked the cab, my heart racing with a mixture of dread and determination. Stepping out onto the deserted street, I felt a chill slice through me, even beneath layers of clothing. The silence was suffocating, broken only by the distant hum of the city. I walked toward the intersection, every step heavy with a weight I couldn't quite explain. Then I saw it, a faint, pulsating glow emanating from the center of the crossroads. My breath hitched, my pulse quickening as I approached cautiously, my mind racing with a mixture of fear and curiosity. As I reached the epicenter of that unearthly glow, I felt a pull, a force tugging at the very essence of my being. And then, in an instant, the world around me warped and twisted. Reality seemed to fray at the edges, bending and contorting in ways that defied all logic. I found myself standing in a place that defied comprehension. The air hummed with an otherworldly energy, and shapes shifted in the periphery of my vision. Phantom figures that flickered in and out of existence. Amongst the swirling mists, I caught a glimpse of her, the vanished passenger. She stood there, bathed in an ethereal light, her eyes locking onto mine with an otherworldly intensity. She seemed to beckon me, her form wavering as if caught between worlds. Instinct told me to run, to flee this incomprehensible place. But a strange curiosity held me in its grip. I took a step closer, the ground feeling unsteady beneath my feet. Before I could reach her, a deafening noise filled the air, a cacophony of unearthly wails and whispers that sent chills down my spine. The ground trembled and the world around me fractured, reality itself splintering into countless shards. In a panicked frenzy, I stumbled backward, clawing my way through the fractured reality. Darkness enveloped me, and I felt a sharp jolt, as if being yanked back into the world I knew. I awoke in a cold sweat, sitting in the driver's seat of my cab, parked at the intersection. The fog had lifted, the night now eerily calm. My heart raced, and I glanced around, half expecting to see the otherworldly glow or the spectral figures. But there was nothing, just the empty streets, bathed in the glow of the streetlights. I started the engine, my hands trembling as I drove away from that cursed place, the memory of the vanishing passenger etched into my mind forever. That night I vowed never to return, never to seek answers to questions that were better left unasked. Some mysteries are not meant to be unraveled, and some encounters are best left forgotten in the depths of the unknown. The vanishing passenger remains a chilling enigma, a reminder that some journeys lead to places we were never meant to tread. Thank you for diving into the depths of darkness with me tonight. But wait, the shadows hold more secrets. What happened next? Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.